You're listening to Sit, Talk, and Listen podcast with your hosts, Payroll Rob and Zadie Bauer.
Yes, bam, bam, we are back, baby. Back and better than ever, maybe? Zadie, we're here. Welcome, welcome. It is episode 39, and today is April 30th, 2029.
Episode 39, huge one.
Huge number.
Big.
I'll let you take the lead on number 39s. I feel like you got something you want to say.
Well, just little side notes. We have Dominic Hasek, number 39.
Just a
Minka
little footnote.
Fitzpatrick,
Mm-hmm.
prominent player. I'm trying to think about it. 39s, maybe.
So it's funny as I type in.
Well, there's one more, but I was trying to
Go
think of
ahead.
anyone. before I
Well, you
get
got
to
one more. Sure, that's probably the one we're going to focus on here. But it's funny when you type in famous 39s on the Google machine, and they pop out their little AI answer. You got NFL, and there's Larry
Sonka.
Dolphins, Browns, Sid Watson played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Willie Parker played for the Steelers,
Yeah.
and Minka Fitzpatrick, safety for the Steelers. And that's all they give for NFL players that wore 39.
Well, one of my favorite players of all time.
Yes.
And a huge part of my childhood, even were 39 in kickball leagues because of one Steven Action motherfucking Jackson.
That's right. That is right. Steven Action Jackson.
The most underrated.
Just a pro of pros. I mean, the guy was a fucking beast.
Yeah, he got stuck on a terrible Rams team for the entirety of his prime. They were lining up 8 players in the box just to stop him, and they couldn't.
Nope.
They couldn't. I remember, I watched almost every one of Steven Jackson's games during that time, and
Steven Jackson.
He's my favorite player for a reason. He was an absolute monster. 6'4", 230 pounds, ran like the wind, would run through you. Do you remember that play where he just against the 49ers where he's dragging the whole team, his helmet's off?
Yeah,
and just
get up my dick,
driving Patrick Willis back. I mean,
no, dude, Steven Jackson did 39 justice and deserves to be recognized.
He's
on
the best
top of a
39
lot
of
of
all
these
time.
guys. Yeah. I don't care. We'll say it. We'll say it here. We got the balls to say it. Nobody else has the balls to say it like we do.
Sorry, Dominic Hasek.
Suck it. Sorry,
It's a Steven Jackson podcast.
Malik, what's his name? Who did I say? What was
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, sorry. Willie Parker. No. 39 belongs to Action
How the fuck
Jackson.
is Willie Parker mentioned over Steven Jackson?
See?
Is he the Steelers?
This is what I expected. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
What's Google reaching for here?
It's bullshit.
And you got Dwight Howard. I guess he was
Dwight Howard.
39, but still not as good as Steven Jackson, respectively.
No, really, if you really think about it, I'm being serious. Steven Jackson, for what he accomplished on the piss poor team that he was on, is you give him if you give him a average offensive line,
yes,
he is a top 5 running back of all time. He
yes,
could catch. He had a year where he had over 2,400 total yards from the line of scrimmage.
Beast
I mean,
on a garbage
the only
team.
guy on the whole entire team that could score a touchdown.
Yep.
I mean, that Rams team was pathetic for the entirety of his career.
I agree.
A monster.
Yeah. No, I agree 100% with you. I just wanted to see. I needed you to defend Steven Jackson's honor because I feel like Google shitting
but
all
I feel
over
like
him.
defending Steven Jackson would be me presenting it as he is some bum. I don't need to defend. Steven Jackson defends himself.
Well, sure. And I think that there's anybody that in the NFL, if they are asked about Steven Jackson, they always talk about how good and how unappreciated of a player he really is in the grand scheme. Like how under the radar his career flew because he was on such a piss poor team. And that sucks. Guys like Barry Sanders were absolutely wasted on their talent was wasted on teams. So the same kind of thing happened to Steven Jackson.
Yeah, and now like Barry Sanders, not that I love Steven Jackson, but Barry Sanders, he's,
Yeah, I mean, he's Barry Sanders, sure.
And that is why his name, has surpassed that because he single-handedly, as a running back, dragged the Detroit Lions to relevancy, at least playoffs a couple times. But he's different. But Steven Jackson, like he was that guy. He is that guy.
He's that dude.
I love you, Steven. And episode 39, what a better way to kick it off than just
dedicated to
double-wristed
Steven Jackson.
For Steven.
St. Louis legend. Yeah? Would you say?
Legend.
Gotta be. Anybody over the age of 25, I'd say, in St. Louis, fan of Steven Jackson. Yeah? Fair?
Yeah, and he was coming in after Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, it's true.
And you know, to me, he was just as good, just a way worse team.
Big time. Poor, yeah. So this episode 39, dedicated to all those number 39s, but firstly and foremostly to 39 in the program and number 1 in our hearts, Steven Jackson. Clap it up. There you go. I like it. So on top of it being episode 39, today is the, I guess, last day of April. April doesn't have 31 days, right? That was March.
Yeah, I like the 31 days one.
You said I need that extra day to make sure that I really got all my monies together, and I don't want to pay rent any cheaper.
Like I have
like a free day. That 31st day is like a free day.
It really is, man. It's like that extra day
because we get cheated in fucking February.
Yeah.
No, I feel, but so we're on last day of April. So April showers bring May flowers. So get ready for those.
And more allergies.
No, for me, it's getting to be about the end of the worst of allergy season. Okay. My body's getting pretty well used to it at this point. So it's those first few weeks when things are really opening up and all the trees are blooming and things are greening out. It's off the charts for me, man. Sneezing and wheezing. But being April 30th, we have some days, some national days to recognize.
What are the national days on April 30th?
Well, today is Denim Day, so pull out your best denim jacket.
Denim, shout out to Wrangler, Levi, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the Canadian tuxedo when people wear a denim top and a denim jeans?
I think it can be a good look on the right guy, on the right person.
Oh, guys specifically. You think a girl shouldn't rock a Canadian tuxedo?
Certain girl, too.
Okay.
It definitely is person dependent if you could pull off a Canadian tuxedo. But I think there is some people that I see it's clean with the jean jacket, jean pants, white T-shirt, unbutton the jacket, maybe cowboy hat on top.
That's a style.
Yeah. But,
And that's good. It's good you're being honest about it because today is Honesty Day. Be honest, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So, getting that one out of the way.
We definitely believe in Honesty Day.
That's what we base this show on, is honesty in media.
Yes, sir.
It's Mr. Potato Head Day. So, shouts out to Mr. Potato Head Day.
If I'm being honest, don't give a fuck.
Fair enough. I mean, there's a lot of national day. I mean, it's National Bugs Bunny Day, too. Do you care about Bugs Bunny? What's up, Doc?
More than Mr. Potato Head, less than a lot of things.
All right. I can understand that. I can get behind that. So, this is a good one. I think there's a lot of people that will appreciate this day. So, I'm a dog owner. We got our dog from, foster care and an adoption agency through that way. What about you? You were a dog owner previously, not currently really. You have a roommate who's a dog owner you help out with. So where did you get Aria from?
Person at O'Malley's.
So it's kind of like...
It was adoption.
Yeah, it would have been through a shelter otherwise had that person just, gave
came
up
into the shift and she was like, oh, my boyfriend's coming home from jail and he can't be around dogs. And she was like, so I was sending, I think I called Maddie or something, was like saying like, oh, I really want to bring this dog. I want to get it. And she brought it up. And God, what was the name of Aria? Kaya.
That's
remember?
It. 100%.
And she wasn't like really responding. And Maddie and I were really into Game of Thrones. And
yep.
So it was between like Daenerys and Arya. And I think
once you guys named her, it was it. And that was the day she was adopted.
She really fit the name Arya.
She grew, nonetheless, she definitely, came through with that name. Like, her personality fit that name well.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring that up because today is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, April 30th. So, if anybody's out there thinking about getting an animal, there's a lot of animals that are in shelters or in, different adoption agencies that are currently needing homes. I don't I don't know, man. There's too many people, especially with dogs, that are all about like breed specific. Oh, I want to get a golden retriever, or I want to get a husky, or I want to get a French bulldog. You know, I think there's too much designer dogs out there, and I don't know. I just think that people should think more about their local shelters and all the animals that are in there when they're thinking about getting animals.
Adopt a dog.
Yeah, adopt a dog, like you and I both have.
Adopt a cat.
Adopt a cat. We adopted a cat before we ever got the dog. And the pig. Didn't adopt a pig.
Do not adopt a pig.
No, pigs need love too.
Send them off to the
farm. We're gonna send them off to the farm. That's what you tell kids when their animals getting ready to die, and you're gonna put them down, right? We're gonna
lots of world hunger out there that could be solved too, but it's not National World Hunger Day. But
it's not. It's a National Adopt a Pet from a Shelter Day, dude. Come on, get it right. Get it right. And it's also Boba Tea Day. So how do you feel about?
Ooh,
boba
I
tea?
I love. Give me extra boba in my tea.
All right.
I love it, dude. It's a recent development over the last year or so.
Yeah.
But now if I go to a mall for whatever reason, I am stopping and I'm getting a boba tea.
Interesting. No, I didn't know that about you. That's new to me. Is that you're a boba tea guy. I didn't think I'd get more reaction from the boba tea day.
Oh no, I love
Adopt
it.
a Pet Day.
I love it.
I love it.
I love adopting pets too. It just, I'm just not really
preaching about.
I'm not in a place right now where I'm going to be adopting a pet, but I'm at a place where I'm going to go.
But advocate for it. That's all
I definitely will. I did. I advocate for adopting dogs and
you don't have
cats.
any feelings on designer pets?
Well, I mean, I certainly think personally, I would love
golden doodles.
I would love a Rottweiler, which it's not a designer pet, but it is a
selective breeding still.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
don't know.
I also am all for adopting a pet. My sister has 3 adopted pets.
Yeah.
Dogs.
And so those are most of the national days that are just kind of holidays. But then there's also, we always do a name. There's always a name celebration day.
All right.
It's a guy's name.
Okay,
We're going to do
Gary.
a little guessing game.
Shout out to Gary's.
It is not Gary,
Ooh,
but you have
Gary's.
a lot of that correct. Basically the back part of the whole name is correct.
It is Larry Day.
Larry Day.
Oh my gosh.
Xavier's second guess.
Hell
National Larry
yes,
Day.
dude. Lawrence's.
April 30th. So shout out to all the Larrys. My father-in-law is named Larry.
Everyone knows a Larry.
Everybody knows a Larry. Everybody's got stories about Larrys. What, I guess Larry is the nickname of Lawrence. What other nicknames would Lawrence's have? I think that's about it, isn't it?
Just Larry, right? Is there any Larrys that aren't Lawrence's?
Good question. Not that I can think of. But then again, I don't know a ton of Larrys. But I assume every Larry I've met was a Lawrence.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any other Larry. No, I can't really think of any other nicknames you get for Lawrence besides Larry.
You gotta like a good Larry. Never really met a Larry that I didn't like.
Yeah. Never met many Lawrences that go by a Lawrence.
Trying to think.
I feel like they'd be in the acting world.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah. Somebody who's is a stage person.
Lawrence. I like the name. Lawrence, strong name.
Yeah.
If my name was Lawrence, I think I'd go by Lawrence.
I feel like it's a perception thing. Like if I go by Lawrence, I have to be all like buttoned up and proper. If I'm Larry, what up, Larry?
Larry's blue collar, boots on the ground.
Yeah. If you work with your hands, you're probably Larry. If you work with your mind, you might be a Lawrence.
Lawrence, I really think it's a solid name.
Lawrence is cool. Lawrence is cool. Lawrence is cool. So shout out to all the Larrys today. And that'll pretty much do it for the national days. I don't know if you had anything you needed to add to all those. What did you think was the best? What do you think was the worst?
I think is the best Honesty Day.
Honesty Day. All right.
I'm not practiced enough.
I agreed.
Everyone's a liar.
Today more than ever, brother.
Everyone lies.
It's all about the grift,
right?
Yeah. What's the wool you can pull over on somebody? That fake it till you make it. That's been pushed for generations now.
What do you think about that mantra?
Fake it till you make it. I think that it's been proven time and time again that it works for people. So
yeah, you manifest basically.
Yeah. If you just act like something's going your way, eventually it probably will.
Yeah, because
you're lying. So everybody just lies all the time, and then they believe that lie
I think
eventually.
there's a difference between
Faking it and lying.
Yeah, because like you always said, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And that's not necessarily lying. You can go somewhere dressed, overdressed, and because that's the places you want to be. You want to be.
But you're manifesting that into your life. Then you're
lying would be. It's completely different.
It's a lie that you believe, just like faith and religion, dude. It's a lie that you believe. So, I mean, we're really going to split hairs here.
Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest. I said that before I knew I was.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be able to have that mentality, you have to truly believe in it. So it's like, at some point, you have to come up with that thought and then truly believe in it. And it's got to get reinforced over and over and over. But it's that reinforcement that becomes, what makes the difference between somebody who is, like, outwardly a liar or somebody who just believes that as to be true.
It's like they said, you look in the mirror every day, you say you are the fucking man or woman.
Yeah.
You are capable of achieving great things. You will achieve great things, and you eventually, like, maybe you're not lying, but maybe you don't believe that.
But it's like,
but the more you say it, the more you do start to believe it.
Right. But it's like, if you, at the beginning and then forever, it's like if you get up every day and just do it and you're like in your head still like, oh, you're not the greatest, you're not the best. Then you're in your head like, well, I'm just lying. So it's like, if you truly buy into it, then you can turn your lie into not a lie. Essentially, if you lie long enough, your lie becomes truth. Isn't that fun?
Manifestation.
So we had a few things going on since the last time we got together. When we got together, it was the day after Easter, and also the day the Pope died. We didn't mention that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's all you feel about the Pope dying.
It's
a big world
feel
event.
like there has not been a pope that really matters since John Paul. Like, that's like Benedict. He had a run, but he resigned. Didn't die during his papal duties.
Yeah. He didn't die.
Papal, right?
Papal conclave. That's what they're having right now.
Yeah. Taking forever.
We already referenced, I think, on previous episode about the white smoke, black smoke situation.
Didn't get it right, probably.
Probably not. I still don't know if I have it clear. I think they got
there will be
white smoke pumping right now. I don't know.
I thought black smoke indicated that there was a new pope.
You would think, but
Brendan told me
backwards.
that was but Brendan told me that was wrong. But we never. I mean, Tony,
gosh, what are we paying him for?
Like, paycheck, brother.
You think he would be on this already?
Holy shit!
Like, it's already in the Google searches because we looked it up before. So it's like, come on.
What smoke indicates a new pope? New pope. What smoke indicates some new hope? Hope, 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 hope. And we're going to keep singing this song.
Well, there's no. It's like, they can give me a million answers on 32s. None of them are 39s. I feel like Tony needs
to get better with his Google search, being more direct. So I will try to assist Tony here.
Mm-hmm. So black smoke means no pope. White smoke means they have pope.
Oh, God. We had a 50-50 shot and blew it.
And, it makes sense. That makes sense, right? Because, that's how it's always been. They say white is the sign of like a rebirth, a regrowing. White's always kind of been held up that way in the church specifically. And so, yeah, and the black is like darkness and the devil. Like, that's how they've always. Darkness, the yin and the yang. So, sure, we're still voting. Throw up the black smoke. Oh, we got a pope. White smoke time, baby. So,
no one will care after a week.
Damn, not no one. There's a lot of Catholics in the world, guy.
But nobody don't care.
The Catholics care.
When have you heard anything about Pope Francis? Well, name one thing that he's done and changed.
Well, me?
Yes.
I'm not a practicing Catholic, so it's not my job to know.
I'm not a practicing hockey player. I know what's going on in the world of hockey.
Because you're a fan of hockey. So anybody who's a practicing Christian,
we can call a Christian right now on the phone. Catholic. Well, it is Catholic. We call it Catholic
but all
right now.
Christians care about the Pope still.
No, they don't.
Oh, my God.
It's a facade.
You're
no
out of
one
touch.
cares about. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
you could call a practicing person who goes to church and say, well, what is one thing that changed during the Pope Francis administration that you'll remember most?
Was he the one that just died, Francis? He was the one that died? He was like,
you didn't even know. Well, he just died. You didn't know. It could have been Pope fucking.
Once again, it's not for me. It's not about me.
It's not for anyone.
There is dude.
It's nice. It's a nice gesture here. I see the Pope the same way I see the Queen or King of England. It's just a formality.
There is 1.4 billion Catholics on the world,
That's a lot.
but nobody cares.
Do they care? Yes, they care, but they don't know why they care. Does anybody know what the fuck? Like,
Yes, they care, but they don't know why they care. They care because they want to know who's the leader of the church.
well, they've been dropping the ball.
They've been dropping the ball. What do you mean?
Terrible PR. Terrible
guess.
PR team.
The last pope was all about he was like a more liberal pope. He was like including
I think it's going to
and being
continue trending in that
inclusive.
direction. But that's the whole thing that confuses me. Is like, oh, so the Pope's just rewriting history? Like,
Yeah.
the Pope could tell a bunch of people, we don't believe this now. Like, there is very,
the whole idea, of the pope is he's God's connection to the church and to the people. And it's like they pick the person who they feel is most in tune with God and God's message. And God's message to the modern world goes through the Pope. So that's how it is, brother. Things can change because the Pope
But
said
when you
so.
say if 1/7 of the world is Catholic, then we, even if we aren't practicing Catholics, should know what some of the Pope's, things are.
Well, we don't because we got things like P. Diddy. We got things like Kanye. We got things like Donald Trump clogging up our news timelines. We're just way more interested in that stuff than
Well, what
than our
Donald
news
Trump
thinks we are
does
with
is
the
more
Pope.
impactful of society in the free world than whatever the new Pope will be doing.
Yes, because it all revolves around money.
And maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's because I'm not but does the Pope have a direct impact on the world?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Is the Pope more than a figurehead?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can move markets a little bit.
All right.
Not as much as once could. The Pope used to be in charge of the free world until the monetary system took over.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like the king and queen, of England. Like, they could do some stuff. I'm sure they have some pull, but at the end of the day, it's more of a status.
Yeah. But we talked about the Queen when she died. Everybody cared.
We did. But again, though,
But you're over here trying to convince me that nobody cares about the
I'm
Pope.
going to tell you this, too. I didn't care that the queen died. She was 98 years old.
I mean, yeah,
Everyone's
I
time comes.
didn't take any time away from what I was doing either. But
Sad. People were affected by it, yes. This king, he's not really short in the tooth by any means.
William Head, is that his name?
Here's where I think
Or whatever.
you got to get a Pope in there that's
King,
45,
Henry?
50,
Oh.
55 maybe. You can't keep having these 80-year-old popes because,
The average lifespan of popes going back from all pope time is 6 to 7 years is the average.
who would want to be a pope? Those
Death
statistics,
sentence.
those statistics are against you. Nobody would run for president if that was the same case.
Yeah, maybe, probably. Maybe, probably, but you're not going to be saved forever if you're a president. If you're a pope, you're in God's good graces forever, brother.
I think Pope Francis was the pope since 2016.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't.
9-year run.
I can't verify that offhand, but that sounds like it should be right. Yeah. So I don't know. Pope died. We're gonna get a new pope, so be on the lookout for that white smoke.
We did 5 minutes on the Pope. There you have it.
I wasn't expecting 5 minutes. I just was kind of glossed right by.
I might need to
Pope
crack
mention.
another Celsius. So full honesty in media. I might need to go run and get that.
Davey's waning on me. He's falling away.
Sleeping on him, girl. I'm sleepy. We might get a first call in to the show today.
There could be some breaking news, allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect there, but I'm looking forward to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of call-ins, we've had Brendan on the show before. You just spent the weekend out there with Brendan in Troy, Missouri.
Great weekend. NFL draft kicked off
Yes.
Thursday. We had
We can get into the draft a little bit in a minute, but I wanted to say, but while we were talking about Brendan and Troy, I popped in on Saturday to Troy. Like I had mentioned, I had the gig, and Brendan was gracious enough host to have me come by, made me up a smash burger. It was fire. That was a good-ass burger. On the Blackstone, man, I just go back and forth on this Blackstone
I need
situation.
one of those things, dude.
That's the whole marketing of it, though, is they get it out there to the people. You go to your buddy's house and, oh man, it's got this Blackstone, and you're like,
Proof
shit,
was in the pudding.
this thing is sweet. But then you don't see all the other stuff, all the cleaning of the grill, the storing of the grill, the getting the propane for the Blackstone. Like, there's all these other things when it comes to owning some, a piece of cookware like that you don't think about when you're like thinking about, damn, how cool it is to cook on this thing. When I'm hanging out with my buddies and we're just chilling around the grill here, and like the flat top, like you go to a Waffle House and you see them cooking on the flat top. You can hook up some hash browns and you're like, man, this really is going to change my cooking game.
In a can.
I'm just so torn on how nice it would be to cook on it versus how much work it is to kind of keep a piece of cookingware like that in decent shape and upkeep it and clean it and get the propane and cover it and store it, all that other stuff.
Pop it, smoke it.
You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to open up the Blackstone conversation. I want people's thoughts on it. I'm sure you've been somewhere where somebody's grilling up on a Blackstone.
Breaking news.
All right, we're gonna. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were recording live and we got a call in. Mr. Brant Sanchez is on the phone with Nick Zaby.
First call in history. Go ahead, Brant. The floor is yours.
This is for the people. Breaking news.
Moves. Breaking moves.
Breaking
Forces.
news.
Tonight on national TV, the St. Louis Blues will be Winn-a-Pegging the Jets tonight.
Whoa!
You heard it.
150. Book it.
Plus 150.
Book it.
Won't you be my neighbor's anytime goal scorer? Plus 390.
Okay.
You guys have a good night. LGB.
Thank you. Let's go.
Hey, all right.
Hell yeah. What a good call in.
Thank you, caller. That's a tout.
Yeah. And Brant feels confident that he knows it's going to be recorded and released, maybe even heard after the game's played. He said, Blues, we'll get back into it later because we're going to retouch the Troy, but just for if you couldn't hear him, Brant called in and said,
We'll
Blues,
get the audio right.
Blues plus 150. Jake Neighbors, he said, Neighbors is on your side.
Jake Naby.
He said, book it, LGB.
All right. Yeah, I say book it too.
I
like it.
I
That's a
love
strong
the call
play.
in. First call in, good energy.
That's nice. We're gonna need to. Yeah, we'll have to streamline the call-in system.
Straight
in a
to the
little
point,
bit.
hung up, got it. Like that's how call in should be.
That's an experienced caller. Let's hear it for it. That guy knows how to call into a show.
Long time listener, first time caller.
That's kind of what we need. We have these other guys that want to be on whole episodes and things. No, just get to the point. Give us the juice. Get out.
I wasn't
good.
expecting it, but
That's nice. Good.
What about a breaking news that hasn't happened yet? Do you like it? Do you like the style?
Breaking news that hasn't happened yet.
Breaking news.
Oh, he's breaking the news of the victory.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good style. That's clean. So, I mean, I'm kind of just completely thrown off with my whole Blackstone conversation.
I'm ramped up.
I'm hyped for the Blues
so
game
back
now.
back to the Blackstone. So I actually, usually we're kind of on opposing angles of this whole conversations that we get in, and it's better for the pod when we are, I think. But in this instance, I am kind of more on, as much as I think it's great. This guy that I used to work with at FedEx, Harrison, swears by the Blackstone. And we deliver a lot of them. So it was like kind of early
they've
morning.
been so popular the last year and a half, 2 years, major.
And he'd swear by them. And most of my questions were about the cleaning of it, and he said that it's like,
Oh, bro, it's like not even anything you got to worry about.
well, he said that it is like maybe 45-minute clean, but he uses it and just meal preps for the week. So then like that 45 minutes is for the week.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was my same concern. It's like, is the juice?
And yeah, dude, you could sit there and do meal prep hella quick on it because you can just throw hella chickens or whatever on there. You got all this space for just flat top.
Fried rice is popular on there.
Yep. A little stir fry.
Yes.
I mean, gosh, you could do a fajita. I mean, easy.
Brennan made kebabs.
Kebab.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great week of eating.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. Like I said, I'm so torn because a flat top and a nice hot ass grills top with a cast iron top, gosh, you can do so many good things with that. But it's also it's another thing to take care of.
Well, but Brennan has a bunch of kids, so you can just be like, hey,
and it's good for big meals too.
you clean. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but big meals, but also
Well, but it's like if you trust the kids to clean it, then you just don't know if
Yeah.
they're going to get all those scraps off.
I
They're going to
think
run through it.
He personally cleans it, but
And you got to oil it. You got to
I'm
make sure
a big
to oil
proponent
it.
of all my friends getting Blackstone.
Yeah.
So. Like that's I think the corner that I'm in.
That's like it's just like a boat. Like you don't want to own a boat. You just want to have friends that own boats. So
100%.
you don't want to own a Blackstone. You just want to have friends that own Blackstones.
I definitely benefited from the Blackstone.
Me too. So shouts out again for the hospitality, Brennan. That was great. Good smash burger.
Beer,
Yeah, high vibes. And led me right into the honky tonk in Troy.
Yeesh.
Decent crowd. People were dancing, singing, doing the honky tonk thing. It was good. I think I'll be back in Troy again here in a couple weeks, actually.
Really?
Yeah, May 9th.
Yeah, there's some reggies.
Yeah, that Adam Fazio and the Clover Band. He's all around town.
Will you memorize the songs?
Nah, eventually. I'll tell you what, brother. These country songs. Here's the deal. Me and country music didn't grow up together like me and rock music did. So I don't know all these songs by heart. Like I heard, I've heard some of these rock songs hundreds of times in my life, if not more. So they're just kind of ingrained in me, or it's just a natural feel. I know what should happen next just because of how a rock song feels. These country songs kind of all feel the same when it comes to the drums. Like there's three distinct drum patterns you're going to do in most all country songs. You're going to do a train beat that dook like Folsom Prison Blues. It's got that kind of shuffle pattern to it. Dook. Feels like a train. They call it train beat.
Yeesh.
Or you just got a simple boom ta. There's like little nuanced things in all these songs that are just going to trip me up for at least the next couple gigs of them. And it's just something we're going to have to get through. I'll come out the other side a better drummer, and that's all I'm looking for. So, I don't know. Don't know. I might know the songs. Might not know the songs.
We went for the first set. Brendan had to work at 4 a.m, so.
Yikes.
But it was good. It was a good time. Sounded good.
Yeah.
Cheap drinks there. Honky tonk. I'd like to.
Oh, walkie talk drinks. Cheap drinks. Good. Yeah. I didn't spend too much on drinks myself. So, good night.
Yeah, it was good.
Good gig.
Good vibes all around.
The draft. So, you guys got together for the draft. What are your big takeaways? Jets getting the Mizzou player first round.
Armand Membu.
That's the guy.
The best tackle in the draft. Sorry, Patriots. Had your chance. Took another guy 4. Jets got the best.
Sorry.
Most athletic. He's bigger, stronger, better than yours. Armand Membu is going to be locking it down. We have 2 West African tackles now, which is pretty cool. Just West African bookends.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's just kind of cool and a unique stat.
Yeah, some
Olufishanu and Armand Membu.
shouts out to those two. So
But
what other
the
surprises
biggest
and
story,
good-
as we all know, or do we talk about other picks before we lead up to this?
You tell me. You're my draft guy. You
So
watch
I
the
want to
draft?
say this. Picks 1 through 8, I should have placed a bet, but I made a deal, no betting till May 1st. I've held true to that.
There you go.
But I predicted the first 8 picks in the draft successfully, which is,
What would that have paid out?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
I had them. In tax receipts to prove it. Because you don't have to pick the team that takes them. I mean, I guess that could even change your odds more if you predict a trade like what happened where Travis Hunter,
Sure.
Cleveland, traded out of the number 2 pick down to the number 5. They got an extra second-round pick out of it and a first next year from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
To trade up and get old
Duval.
Travis Hunter.
And who, Bob, do you want to share what your thoughts were on that?
Yeah, I guess. Sure. I got no
Honesty and
shame.
media.
Yeah. Travis Hunter. I don't know. He's being very adamant that he will play both sides of the ball in the NFL and he will do it effectively. And he said even so much as to say, I believe it was something along the lines of, if I don't get to play both ways, I would rather just quit playing football altogether and like go work at Sam's Club or something. I want to say.
And
it
I
was
think
like a
he's
quote.
saying that for a leverage. It's not as much as he actually believes that.
Hey, it's his words. You know what I'm saying? I can only take the man's words and believe what he's saying. So, he said them, not me. So I said, I just don't know that the guy's going to have a good career in Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to see much success there. I think we'll see him move on from Jacksonville as soon as it's possible. Whether the team moves on from him or he moves on from the team, we'll see how that plays out. I don't think he will end up playing both sides of the ball. I think he might try at the beginning and ends up showing holes in his game because it's like more of a slap in the face to your teammates, like saying like, I don't think that you guys need to spend all week working on your positions because I can spend half the time at both and be just as good. I don't think that that's true.
Well, it could be though. He could just be that good. He is special.
I don't know.
I did argue the whole. If we rewind the tape, I was an Ashton Genty for Heisman guy over Travis Hunter.
I remember.
You know that, and he did go 6 overall, which is very high for a running back to go. And I think he's going
to be worth it. I think he's going to have a hell of a career.
He's going to be immensely successful. He's proven it against high competition.
I'll say it now: Genty better career than Travis Hunter. Book it.
And Travis,
I know it's not a crazy take, but I'm gonna have the take.
It's a hot take for sure.
That's a take. That's a hot take. It's a good take. We'll see.
I don't have the reasons. Right. What is the direct quote? I don't have the reasons.
I don't have all the facts here, but I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't matter or something like that.
I don't have all the facts, but that doesn't matter, and here's why.
Yeah.
But Travis Hunter's teammate was the biggest by far storyline of draft. Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL Hall of Famer and legendary cornerback Deion Sanders, also his head coach at Colorado, along with Travis Hunter.
That's right. Recent inductee into the Colorado Ring of Honor.
Not even that, got his number retired before he's even taken a snap in the NFL.
That's right.
And these guys, like, you think, okay, they got their number retired. They must have done big things.
You want to crown his ass? Crown his ass.
Well, Colorado sucked. They sucked. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
We sucked less.
Now, if USC wants to retire Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush's number right after they leave, makes a little more sense, which I don't think they did.
No.
But Colorado retiring Travis Hunter and Reggie Bush for, like, all the success they had, it's like, what in the fuck are we talking about? I hate Colorado. Like, I just don't like the whole.
Were you down on them before the whole Deion sideshow?
No.
Okay, so it's that whole situation that's made you sour on.
So many people became such big fans of them and saying how good they were, and then they just got waxed every week on national television.
Yep. And they kept getting put on national television. It's all about the show. It's all about prime time.
And I love Wayne. Obviously, Lil Wayne, one of my favorite people of all time. But that even him being such a supporter of Colorado's team doesn't move the needle for me. Fuck them.
Yeah.
It just is annoying. Like, they didn't earn anything.
No.
It's a sideshow, like you said.
Yeah.
But I think Travis Hunter will be successful in the NFL. And I think he can play both sides.
What about Shedeur Sanders?
Shedeur...
Especially now. So
going back
for those that don't know the whole story, I guess you can, Xavier, fill him in.
Going back to a month ago and before, it was debated if he'd be the first overall pick. And within the last month, it's been, he'll probably go number 3 to the Giants. And then a week before the draft, he was sliding all the way in mock drafts to probably 21st to the Steelers.
Sliding.
So,
and he did not go to the combine.
His pro day. He did not throw it either.
So all the standard things for draft, I keep saying his first name wrong, I guess.
Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur?
Yep.
Shedeur Sanders did not participate in any of the pre-draft things as 95% more of all the other players probably did. Maybe more. Probably all of them almost, besides him, participated at least in some pre-draft activities.
Yes, and so the first round came and went, and Shedeur was not taken, much to everyone's surprise. Donald Trump, the president, even weighed in on it and said the owners should be embarrassed of themselves. Shedeur is from Superior Genetics.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
And was saying that...
Dude, that's slippery slope stuff. We don't need our president talking about genes as though athletic prowess automatically gets passed down in your genetics.
That's what he was saying.
Okay, well, continue. So he doesn't
Better
get
than
drafted.
If he would have said that about a white guy, though, right?
Yes. But it still puts that thought into people's minds that genetics is what separates people's abilities.
Yeah, well, I agree. It was a hot take.
President
so first round comes and goes, and it's all the hoopla after night 1. Shedeur fell out.
It's true.
Night 2 is rounds 2 and 3.
Before we even get to night 2, Friday morning? Was it during... When did
Friday evening, 6:00, round 2 started.
Okay, sure, but then wasn't it during? I think it was Friday that we had the Falcons defensive line coach's son get involved in this situation.
Yeah, so at one point, because Shador's got his team around him and their video and everything.
Yes.
Woo! God bless me.
Goes.
Shador gets a call from New Orleans.
Yes, I mean that's what they say.
They say this is New Orleans. They're like, sorry, you've had to wait so long.
We're going to take you with our next pick.
Yes.
So you got to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
He said, yes, we're going to take you with our next pick, and then says, you're going to have to wait a little longer.
And then hangs up.
Hangs up. Shadur's left like so confused. He's like, wait a little longer. What the fuck does that mean?
I love that when I listened back to the audio of that call, it's like there's a good 5-second chunk after he hangs up. He's like, oh, thank you. And then he hangs up, and everybody just kind of sitting there is like, you have to wait a little longer. What's that mean? And they're like, I don't know.
It is.
It's like then they start
It's
questioning
fucked up.
it.
It is fucked
It's
up
fucked
to
up. It's fucked up. But it has to be told as part of the story
all
now.
the jokes and memes made about Shador through the draft, I do feel like he handled it, at least from an optic standpoint, pretty well.
You have to, man.
Laughing
Otherwise,
and
it's
smiling.
going to be more.
It would have been understandable if he didn't.
Sure. It would have been, but that's what people act up on the internet for, is to try to get you to act up.
One of the memes was how Shador must have entered his draft interviews, and it was Step Brothers coming in there and said, we're going to be asking the questions now.
Where do you think that we'd like to interview you? Yeah, that could be effective.
But anyway, so night 2 ends, rounds 2 and 3, and Shador is still not off the board. And at this point, people are like, okay, something's up, because 3 other quarterbacks that were projected to go after him had been taken.
Mm-hmm.
And Shador, while I was not very impressed by him, he is better. He's more accurate. I'm not impressed by his arm strength, which is why I thought 3 would be way too high. But he is a very accurate quarterback.
Yeah, but if you don't have arm strength, it doesn't matter how accurate you are in the NFL.
But he was better on film than 4 quarterbacks that were taken before him. I think a lot of it was that was he good enough? Was the juice worth the squeeze? Was taking Shador worth the sideshow that comes with it and all the hoopla? He doesn't have an agent as well, so his agent is his dad.
Yeah,
and
I think it's just too much of a sticky situation. They said, why would we deal with this?
So the problem is Deion's dad is beloved in these NFL circles, so when he's calling to say what's up with Shador, they're kissing his ass, and they're saying, oh, they're just being yes men. No, none of these executives are going to tell Deion Sanders the truth, and we just don't see your son as this or that.
Yeah.
So, normally when you have an agent, you could get honest feedback and be able to tell your player. So maybe then he can call and reassure hey, I can see where this is coming from. Let me straighten this out. But that's not what he was getting. Anyway, Shador, day 3, doesn't even go in round 4. He is taken by the Browns in round 5.
Yep. Cleveland Browns finally select him after they have already taken another quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel, who was projected to go 3 rounds later than Shador. It's it was madness. It was one of the all-time slides in sports draft history.
Yep. And now you have Cleveland, I think, have 5 quarterbacks on their roster or something similar.
Yeah, it is
something
5.
crazy.
Yep.
Joe Flacco. We're not going to go through
Joe Flacco, they have Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett.
That's right.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders. It's a fucking clown show.
It's a Brown show.
It's a Brown show.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But that's what they wanted, I guess.
They were a unicycle and a fucking honky horn nose short of just being an absolute Ringling Brothers circus.
Well, maybe Prime will bring them the big shoes.
Yeah, it's just... So that was basically draft weekend wrapped up in a nutshell.
Big news in the NFL, though. That was definitely the storylines throughout the weekend. The draft and Sanders sliding as far as he does. I don't have any projections for Sanders' career. I don't know. Didn't watch him much in college. I know this team was mediocre. I didn't watch him specifically to zone in on his abilities. We'll see how it all plays out. Cleveland has not been the best luck for quarterbacks drafted there in the past. So if that's any kind of indicator, then we'll see. We will see.
Well, they have 5 now, so they're trying to get better their odds.
They're just going to keep rotating them through, dude.
There was an MLB draft one year where, and that's like a 30-round draft for the Los Angeles Angels. Took all starting pitchers every round, not one position player.
Wow.
It didn't work out. That strategy did not prevail.
Nope. Well, Cleveland said this is what the best teams do, I guess. Draft all the same position.
Yeah, so interesting, but that was draft weekend, and what was again, shout out to Brendan for we had kebabs, we had all kinds of good ass stuff, hot dogs, brats, smash burgers, the whole 9 yards. It was all brought out, and really good hosting this weekend, and I appreciate Brendan and family for having me.
Yeah, and you had a good chance to reset your batteries, take a few days off work, that kind of
Which
thing.
I immediately just drained completely.
He said, man, these days off have been great. Time to get no sleep.
Reset the batteries Saturday night.
Late night.
After it, 3 a.m. Next day, whole lots of hoopla.
Hoopla!
Yeah, just, but did finally reset my batteries yesterday.
Yeah, you got the good night's sleep.
Today. Feeling good.
Feeling good just in time for today is Game 5. St. Louis Blues versus the Winnipeg Jets. And last time we talked about this was before Game 3. The Blues were down 2-0 in the series, and just like we predicted, we are knotted up 2-2.
We didn't. Neither one of us were worried. We saw good positive signs, thought that we could have won either, if not both of those games. And we put belt to ass this weekend.
It's true. We not only did we beat them embarrassingly, enough for their goalie to be pulled 2 games in a row.
And this goalie is going to win the Vezina this year, and
might
more than
even
likely
win the Hart Trophy. Is the best player in the league,
which isn't very common. But we didn't give a fuck. Matter of fact, we wanted him. We wanted more Connor Hellebuck.
Our fans were chanting, "We want Connor!" after they pulled his ass from the
Blues
next
crowd
game.
has been electric.
The series has been electric.
That stadium could power 30,000 Teslas.
I want to say Game 3 had 129 hits total or something like that. Insane. Some games in the regular season might only get to 30 to 40 hits for the whole game. We're talking 128 hits. So it's been a physical series, entertaining series, and I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good going into tonight. And I'm not worried. I'm not worried even if we were to drop tonight. I'm not worried at all.
Well, you heard it. We got our first call in ever and said you should definitely not worry about that.
Yeah, he's feeling the juice, dude. So I'm there. We're there. So everybody check in with the Blues.
Yesterday, Brent guaranteed Denver Nuggets win their Game 5. And if you one quick Google search will tell you the Nuggets took care of business. So Brent's seeing the board, and that should be even more reason for optimism. I, however, am not seeing the board.
Yeah.
I was blinded, and I know. Matter of fact, every year my favorite thing to do is watch the Toronto Maple Leafs choke, right? First round of the playoffs.
The Leafs are out.
I love watching the Maple Leafs choke. This year, and I'm a big Spin Chicklets podcast listener, Paul Bissonnette is the face of the fan base in Toronto, leading the charge. And he's been saying, so Toronto goes up 3-0 over Ottawa in the series.
3-0.
And everything leading into the series was like, this should be Toronto's year. Their core 4 is healthy.
Core 4. Nice.
They should finally beat, the Ottawa is no match for them.
They got Berube behind the bench.
Yeah. Things should be different. In first 3 games, Toronto looks like they're going to,
Okay. They've beat this thing.
Game 4, Ottawa.
Didn't they get out of the first round last year? That was the big deal?
They lost to Boston.
But didn't they make it out of the first round? I'm pretty sure they did, because that was a whole deal.
Yes, but
they made it out of the first round, and it was like, oh my God, this is going to be the year they do it. They made it out of the first round. But here we are again, talking about the same damn things.
So they lose to Ottawa in Game 4, which would have been the clincher.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Tkachuk tells the fans, I guarantee you we will be back here for Game 6. And what does Toronto do in Game 5? They lay a complete fucking egg. They were playing at a library. The crowd was nervous.
They were playing at a library.
Buttholes puckered. Dude, they were gripping sticks tight. The fan base wasn't even, they couldn't breathe.
Here we go again on our own.
They got a shit pumping. Ottawa beat them 4-0. Now they're going back to Ottawa, as Brady predicted, for Game 6. And Toronto's fan base they are on fire. They
can't handle it.
They are 1-13 in their last 14 game series clinching games.
Yeah, a lot of stress. A lot of stress there in Toronto. The Canadian fans are all kind of feeling a little bit. I know, obviously, they're mad in Winnipeg with their star goalie underperforming. Oil fans were a little heated recently, too, I think I was hearing.
And now the Oils have taken that back. It's 3-2. But, yeah, Canada, I mean, they haven't won a Stanley Cup since, I think, the Reagan administration.
At least. Probably since the nuclear bomb was dropped. Who knows? We'll have to look it up.
Hockey playoffs have been electric. That's been fun.
And then how about the NBA? Usually the first round of NBA playoffs isn't the most exciting rounds.
Lakers are down 3-1. My Dopper's down.
Lake
the
show.
Blues have been saving my mental health. Thank you, St. Louis Blues. Lakers are down 3-1. Backs against the wall. We got to rally. LeBron's done it before.
So how the games how have they been looking? What's the optics?
Well, the Lakers have blown 2 fourth quarter leads the last 2 games. We're up 9 with 5 minutes to go in the last game and lost.
Oh boy, you don't want that. You don't want to see a bunch of blown leads. That's going to wear on you mentally, usually as a team.
It's weighing on me mentally. But last night was pretty electric. If I'm going to talk, so go to Brant's for the game. He has money on the Pacers. Pacers are down 6 points with 40 seconds left, and the Bucks are at the free throw line. 6-point lead for the Bucks. They're at the free throw line. 40 seconds left.
40 seconds.
Guy makes the first one, up 7 with 40 seconds left. Misses a second. Pacers come down, hit a huge 3. They are now down 4. Bucks getting the ball back with 27 seconds. They get the ball across half court. Now this guy, Gary Trent Jr., has made 8 threes in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yikes.
8 for 8. Was just
on fire.
lighting them up for the Bucks.
He'd have the fire emblem on him in the NBA Jams.
But the same guy who basically just willed the Bucks to victory, now with 27 seconds left and a 4-point lead, throws the ball out of bounds. Pacers get the ball back.
Not what you need to do.
Hit another 3.
Big time.
Now they're down 1 with 17 seconds left. The Bucks inbound the ball, get it to Gary Trent, cross half court. He bobbles it, goes between his legs. Pacers get the ball back with 10 seconds left, down 1. Tyrese Halliburton puts Giannis Antetokounmpo on skates, lays it in with 1.7 on the clock, 1-point lead, no timeouts for the Bucks. Pacers win.
Wow.
After being down 7 with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, I heard about that game.
It was nuts to watch live.
Yeah, that's kind of reminiscent of the comeback we saw in the tournament, the NCAA tournament this year with the, end of the game. What was that? Duke.
Yes, Duke blew it.
They did blow it to the other squad. Houston. I knew it was a Texas team.
Yeah.
I couldn't place them in a small Power 5 conference.
Oh,
they would call
They are. Big 12.
Yeah, I guess Big 12 is a power conference still. Fucking Big 12. What a joke.
Yeah. But yeah, reminiscent of that. It's like if you looked at your phone and saw, and you kind of just put it away, assuming
up 7,
and then you
40
look
seconds
later, and then you're like, what the
how?
You double take.
Yeah, big time. So sorry. Well, shouts out to Matt. You got to experience and enjoy the Pacer victory.
Yeah, I text him. No text back. I guess he does not give a shit about the Indiana Pacers.
He said, the Pacers are playing? Who knew?
I text Matt and I said, what a crazy fucking ending to that game.
He said, was it? No, I'm kidding. That's how it feels if somebody were to text us about a city soccer game. They say, what a crazy end of that city soccer game.
Don't ever waste space in my phone on this bullshit.
We just blew a game to LA, the Galaxy.
I need to be more positive. My mom was not happy about our commentary towards soccer last week.
Look, I love the game of soccer. I just don't like that they can end in ties. That's all that I was trying to convey. That was all my point was last week. And I offered a solution to make games not have to end in ties. So that was all my point was. But, city soccer.
Don't mean to bring anybody down. Don't want anybody to have the worst day at their jobs.
That's right.
So,
but the city soccer team's mediocre this year, so be a little better, and then we'll talk about it more.
Yeah,
nothing to. There is something to touch on with the Battlehawks. I know you were gonna say, "Ooh, Battlehawks, blah blah blah, UFL," but it's making headlines. I saw it on ESPN even today. A Stallions player from the UFL was suspended after slapping a fan at the Battlehawks game. Did you see that one?
No.
It's a pretty entertaining video. It's like, down at our stadium there, the railing that goes around the field. There was a fan, I guess, giving somebody on the other team the business. Yeah, and after the game, they were kind of getting into it back and forth. I couldn't hear about for what, but then you see the player just jump up and slap this guy across the face, and then you see another one of the players like, laughing and pointing at the dude in the crowd like, you just got slapped, bruh. And it was pretty entertaining to watch. But what do you think? UFL needs their players slapping fans.
I think they should allow that kind of shit if you want ratings to go up. Like, I am also a big proponent of this. If the fan is going to come down and talk shit,
if you want to be part of the show, I'll make you part of the show.
I do think, and it just adds for more entertaining.
Yeah.
People are like, well, the players you need to be professional and this and that, but you don't know what sometimes. Like, what's the line?
No, these crowds, these fans, these crowds of people, they get. Whatever, they get emboldened to think you can say whatever the hell they want to these players.
The reason they do that is because there is no consequences.
Yeah. No, I paid my money for my ticket. What does that mean? It's not money that you can just verbally abuse motherfuckers that are playing this game. Wow.
You do have the right to talk shit, but then you have the right to get hit.
Facts.
Talk shit, get hit.
Fuck around, find out.
Exactly. So I don't know why we're suspending these players.
Well, the league's got to maintain their look. I think I'm with you, though. I think they should allow players to do that. And so fans know if you get mouthy, you might just get slapped up.
And then and then you could do like a little court hearing. The people around, what did you witness? What was said?
Do like a quick little case.
Okay, what was said? Did that deem the hit?
Street justice.
Like if you say you suck, you probably shouldn't hit the guy. But if the guy says something about like,
I heard your mom died of cancer last year. That's hilarious. You should probably get slapped.
I heard your kid's not yours.
Yeah.
I hope not. With how ugly it is. That's a beatdown.
Slapped.
Right?
Yeah. What are some other slappable offenses?
There's lots. Me, personally, my list would be a lot longer. Like, just imagine, like, say, hey, you fucking suck. I can't.
You don't look anything like your dad.
I remember Shannon Sharp, speaking of, well, not maybe, Shannon Sharp going through a lot of his own issues right now, and I don't know if we're going to touch on that or not.
I don't have the details. I know he's involved in some allegations.
I have all the deets. I heard the voicemail. Pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
I think maybe I saw the transcript of the voicemail.
Well, Shannon Sharp memorized Derek Thomas's. Somebody gave him Derek Thomas's girlfriend's phone number, and he memorized it. And throughout the game, was saying the phone number to Derek Thomas, and Derek Thomas was losing his fucking mind. Got 3 personal fouls that game.
How was Shannon Sharp saying? When they were playing against each other?
Yeah, they were playing against the Chiefs when he was on the Broncos. Somebody somehow got Shannon Sharp, Derek Thomas's girlfriend's number.
Oh, I didn't know this story. This isn't the story I was thinking of. I was thinking of him being involved in a lawsuit.
That's what I was saying. But I was bringing this up, saying like, yes, I'm aware of that story going on right now. But anyway,
Shannon Sharp's all-time trash talker.
Yeah, that's pretty elite trash talking.
Yeah, to track down the phone number.
And like just say it. And this is at the time where obviously Derek Thomas had to have his girlfriend's phone number memorized.
Yeah.
Because you don't have phones and contacts saved. So
true. Old Black Book season.
So yeah. Shannon Sharp, are we going to get into that?
I don't know. I don't know the details. I guess you could. It's kind of, it's not breaking news. This story came out a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
we can wait until it goes through the systems, We don't need to out
phone calls and voicemails.
Yeah, we don't need to out somebody that that hasn't gone through the court system yet. Let the legal system play out, right? That's what we should do.
He said he was going to punish her beehole, though. That is confirmed. I'm not saying whether,
yeah, but
I'm not saying whether that was. I'm not accusing Shannon Sharp of anything, but I can tell you that he did say he was going to punish her beehole.
What do you mean? You haven't left voicemails letting people know you're going to punish their beehole? Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I was just.
It's great.
What were we talking? Jamie was watching some docuseries on some, I guess it was like, some kid was adopted and they had this girl re-aged essentially. And they were like, no, you're not 8 years old. You're 22 years old. I'm like, what? I don't understand how that makes any sense. How can you like re-age somebody when they're clearly like a child? And then that got me on the track of thinking like, oh, what if we could just, you cut humans in half and you just start counting the rings like you do with a tree to know the true age.
So this girl saying she was 8, they said, no, you're 22.
No, that's not the story. It's a whole nother story that I don't know the details of. either. It's a docuseries on the Netflix.
Oh.
It's like these parents adopted a child, essentially, and the child has, like, dwarfism, you know?
Oh.
And they're like, wait.
She
That's what they think. That's what they said. But no, everybody was like, this is a 8-year-old kid.
They were trying to say, no, you're 22?
Basically, yeah. And then they had it somehow made where the court said, no, this person is grown. And then they, like, rented her an apartment and left her on her own as an 8-year-old child in an apartment on her own. Oh. And so they were like,
wait, this happened?
Yes, that's what
I
I'm
gotta
saying.
maybe watch this story.
It's an interesting story because then there's, like, obviously charges of child neglect and things like that were brought up against these, this couple that adopted her or whatever. And they're like, what? No, we didn't. I didn't watch all of it. I just caught parts of it, like I was saying. But the whole idea of somebody being re-aged and then, like, how do we count human ages? Anyway, I've gone past the whole, I was going to reference a joke I was thinking of counting humans' age, but now I feel like we've passed that moment, so I shall not.
All right. Well,
reference that.
Speaking of things that I need to watch.
Yeah.
I did, since the last episode, watch School of Rock.
Oh, Ned Schneebly.
Ned Schneebly got a raw deal. That's what I got. That's what I got out of it.
But do you feel like when you watched it, you're like, oh, I can see why Ned Schneebly stands out as a name that I recognize and will pull from the movie. Like, the name gets said a bunch.
Yeah, he is Jack Black. Well, spoilers now. If you haven't seen it, sorry. I know I took 20 years. So that's your fault, though.
Yeah, and this might, we'll see how this goes. This could be a reoccurring kind of segment we do on the show, like way too late reviews. You know, movies that people feel are all-time classics or something that maybe we haven't seen. And so you didn't see School of Rock, so you took the time and watched School of Rock.
So Jack Black plays a starving artist. Starts off with him getting kicked out of his band because while he's talented, he's just a little too much about himself.
A little self-centered in the band.
Too long of
maybe
solos.
hanging on to old school rock and roll.
Yeah.
And the band says they want to move in a new musical direction without him.
Then it shows him in the house waking up in what seems to be some kind of, like, corner of the house, not even a spare bedroom.
Oh, yeah. He just got a little mattress on the floor.
Yes.
You know, living the rock star life.
And
struggling musician.
This is when you're introduced to Ned Schneebly, played by Mike White, and his girlfriend, played by Sarah Silverman. And Sarah Silverman's like, you need to wake his ass up and tell him to pay the rent, keeps taking advantage of you, yada, yada.
You're going to do like a scene-by-scene synopsis
yada,
here.
yada, yada. I'm just painting the picture real quick.
No, I know, but this is the opening scenes pictures taking a while for us to get through somehow.
Okay, so basically, Jack Black has been taking advantage of his friend and not paying rent. Ned Schneebly. Yeah, Ned says, well, you have to pay rent on time. So then,
or you gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah, so Jack says, okay. He gets a call from school because Ned Schneebly, his roommate and / friend, is a substitute teacher. This school calls him and says, hey, is this Ned Schneebly? One of our teachers just broke their leg. We need a fucking, we need a
Here we go again. Scene by scene.
It's hard to talk about the movie without painting the picture.
He answers the phone and he says, no, Ned's not here. And then she's like, oh, well, we needed a sub because our teacher broke his leg. So he says, oh, yeah, hold on. And he twists the phone cable around and he says, hold on, this is Ned Schneebly.
All right, so Jack Black teaches some kids how to play rock and roll music. The parents get all mad and then they end up loving it. Overall, the movie, I feel like it was cool. It was an original story. If I watched it for the first time when I was 10 or 12, maybe I'd have more nostalgia in play. Yeah. But I had to suspend a lot of belief for like the movie to make sense for me. So it was good. I'll give it a 6.7.
I think you also need to take into account the years, the year and how society was. I mean, things have changed in 22 years. That was 2003 when that movie came out. Schools were more willing to be less vetting of their substitute teachers. You just call up a name on a sheet. You don't know anything. There's no social media profile. You can't look up Ned Schneebly on LinkedIn.
I feel like you'd at least have to provide a social security card and a driver's license.
That's down the road.
Even in 2003.
Maybe, also, there was probably things.
They were sending him paychecks in the mail.
But here's the thing. They probably could have gone through an agency. A lot of times substitute teachers will work for a substitute agency, and that agency is the one that's supposed to be then responsible for having all that information, the Social Security, to pay them. So then the school pays the agency then issues the check, and that's what ends up doing Jack Black in is the check comes in the mail for Ned Schneebly, because that's probably how that was set up. Is it was just worked out through his agency that we're going to pay the agency, and then the substitute teacher agency will pay you, the teacher. We don't have to do all this vetting. We just are in need of a substitute teacher right away because we're in a pickle. So, not totally unbelievable for 2003. To think that a guy could just get a phone call and say, yeah, I'm Ned, and show up, and they'd be like, all right, hi, Ned, come on in. Welcome to your class.
And he got this whole class that he, kind of walks by and sees him playing some music.
He hears him during music class. He's
and
like,
decides,
what's up?
this will translate really great to rock and roll music. I'll get them all as a whole class to buy into it.
He said, dang, all this class is musical too? They all got skills?
But, I mean, it was likable. And, and I do think there is some element to even if some kids weren't as into it, they see how much like maybe some of the popular kids were. You know how it works, so like then they want to be bought in.
They were convinced that it was for a school project. It was going to go on their permanent records, and they're already at a prestigious school, and so it's already ingrained into these kids. Like, prestigious things like permanent record, future prospects. Like these are the things that we need to concern ourselves with at 10 years old. Like that's reality for kids, man.
But he also got the principal to buy in on just letting them take them all to a field trip, like last minute.
He took her to a bar, got her a beer, played her favorite song on the jukebox.
She was fucked up after half a beer.
Well, fucked up and acting a little buzzed maybe are different. She wasn't falling around puking, acting for fucking Freebird on the radio or nothing. But yeah, she was acting
good. Like I enjoyed the whole movie.
Well,
but
I'm just trying to give you the reasons of why you could suspend the disbelief. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, brother.
At one point two of the students show up to Jack Black's house to wake him up after
convincing the bus driver to go.
How do they have the address to their substitute teacher's house?
Now that might be the best question for the whole movie, sir, is why they had the address of their substitute teacher.
That is concerning.
Well, as Jack Black said in the movie, all those kids touched him, and he believes maybe he's touched them too.
Yeah, that was a funny line. No, yeah, I liked the movie. I did like the movie. I was just saying, like, I wouldn't nominate it for an Oscar.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was saying it needs to be, but there's some great moments of that movie, and it's a classic. So I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you put in the groundwork, and you watched it.
I said I would. I did.
You said he did. So he's a man of his word. I don't know if you got one for me. Like if we should start brainstorming some movies that are classics that maybe you're familiar with because you caught it at a time and maybe I'm not. Well, I'm sure there's some stuff.
What haven't you seen?
Well, see, there's a whole question in itself. I don't know what I haven't seen, right?
There's not any movie that you say, I haven't seen this, and people say, how the fuck have you not seen this?
Well, I don't know.
By this time next week, I want you to watch Game of Thrones in its entirety and give us a rundown.
Not interested.
Sopranos?
I'm not watching a TV show. We're talking movies, guy. I told you, I'm a movies fan because I want resolution. I don't need to sit through 8 hours of one season and have one cliffhanger, then I have to then pay attention to.
That's where you're messing up.
Is it? I don't want to invest 8 hours and get no resolution.
Movie that maybe you haven't seen.
It's a classic. Because, I mean, you wouldn't have pulled out School of Rock as one that you hadn't seen because it wasn't on top of your head. You hadn't seen it.
Scarface.
Have I seen it beginning to end? I don't know that I have. I just know, say hello to my little friend. I just, I know like the tropes from it.
Maybe Scarface will be the movie this week.
All right. I'll put it on my list. Scarface.
You've never seen Scarface for real?
I don't think I can't remember it from beginning to end. I can only just think about like the gun battle in his house and say hello to my little friend.
See, like you've already.
What? Well, this is a classic movie. You asked, and I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
Yeah, but it's not like I went
bits
and
of
looked
it.
up like fucking spoilers for School of Rock.
Well, is it? Because I pay
the gun
attention.
battle in his house? Yes, it's like the whole climax of the movie.
Well, then I ruined it for myself. Maybe that's why I haven't seen it, because I already know what's going to happen. If we'll have to try harder than that, I guess.
You've seen Tropic Thunder?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I'm a dude playing a dude, acting like another dude.
We'll have to find, there'll be plenty of movies. Maybe we'll have to do this off the air.
Why?
Because now I'm just going to go back and forth asking. Like, it just happened organically that I said I didn't see School
No,
of Rock.
I know.
But, you know.
One more. There's got to be a classic that I haven't seen. I'm sure there is. I mean, I know there is. I've seen Pulp Fiction. I've seen
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction was the band I was in. It was based off of Pulp Fiction's name. I've seen the What's in the Box movie. Saw that one. I've never seen Snakes on a Plane. Is that a classic?
Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh yeah. Jamie thinks that's a bad movie. She doesn't like Jamie Foxx's acting.
What?
She says he's one-dimensional, which, dude, she kind of did ruin it for me as we went back and watched it. I'm like,
how can he
damn.
be one-dimensional when he quite literally is two-dimensional?
Jamie Foxx?
He is a singer.
In that movie, his acting is what I'm talking about and she's talking about.
It's
His
a good
acting
movie.
is one-dimensional.
Great premise.
The premise of the movie is agreed good, but she just had qualms with his
Primal
acting.
Fear with Edward Norton.
That's a great movie. Yep,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Okay. Well,
American History X. Also
Bob's
great
seen every
movie.
single movie.
Just some of the classics. I don't know. I've seen Green Mile. I've seen Shawshank.
All the Hangovers.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd call Hangovers classics. I mean, they're movies
They
of
are
a
classics.
they're movies of a time. Like that'd
What
be
do
like
you mean?
somebody
It's like the last of great comedy movies.
sort of. That'd be like if somebody like our dads would be like, "Oh, Animal House is the classic," but kids
It
today
is.
wouldn't think of Animal House as a
Animal
classic.
House is a classic.
I
I've never seen it, but
see. So that's
But it's
going to
still
be
a
how we think
classic.
of Hangover. I think our generation is going to think of Hangover as a classic as we get older, but the people that are 20 years old now might not think
but
of
doesn't
Hangover
mean
as
it's
a
not.
classic.
So if I go up to a kid right now and say,
Does it hold up?
"Do you like the Beatles?" I don't know who that is. Oh, well, they're not classic anymore.
No, that's not the same thing because the
How?
music holds up. Just because they're not familiar, if they watch it and be like,
Hangovers
"This is
will
good,"
hold up.
All right, well, we'll see.
Animal House, I don't think I'd be a fan of.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are if
That's
they
not
watch
like my
it in
kind of
today's
humor.
eyes.
It's not my kind of humor.
Yeah, I've seen most of the vacation movies.
Old school.
Yeah, of course, seen that one. Sure, most of the Sandler ones, a lot of those comedy ones of that era, I definitely have seen.
Have you seen any of the Final Destinations? They are making a new one.
I've seen a good amount of them. And so there's ones in that category, in the horror and drama category. Like those are definitely less on my radar of ones that I've seen because I'm just not really a fan of that genre. So I'm sure there's
You get
stuff.
scared?
I don't like being scared. Mostly I don't want to be startled. Like, life is scary enough. I don't need to sit down and have something try to freak me out.
Are you
for
telling me
multiple
that the
hours.
guy who cannot watch wrestling,
So are you telling me
the guy who can't watch wrestling because he cannot
write wrestling?
he can't watch wrestling because
don't
he
watch
cannot
wrestling.
suspend his belief that this is scripted, cannot also watch a horror movie and know that all this stuff that's happening is fake. There's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, I can, but that doesn't change how the movie is shot and edited to have a jump sequence, like to have things pop out at you and like all of a sudden like loud shrieking music. Like that stuff is gonna put me on edge no matter who you are. It's made to purposely elicit, a reaction from you. And I don't want that. I don't want that reaction. So I choose not to watch. So, if you're going to look for classic movies, you got to find some of those, I guess, that I haven't watched. And I guess I'll watch them and review them. The way too late reviews. I've seen some of the Halloweens because Joe was a big Halloween.
Those aren't
buff.
scary though.
They're in the horror genre though, are they not?
I mean, they're classics, but it's like, I don't know.
They're just gory. And there's some jump sequences in those even.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll rehash this. I did see Sinners.
Oh, okay. A little new
This-
movie review. You were
It
mentioning
received rave reviews. I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't say the best movie of the last 10 years, like some people were saying, but I can see why. Like,
who's the big names in that one? What's that?
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah. You were telling
Haley
me.
Seinfeld, otherwise known as Josh Allen's fiance,
Interesting.
directed by Ryan Coogler, who also directed Black Panther,
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, Creed, yada yada. It
Him
was
and
very
Michael
well
B.
done, very well acted. Michael B. Jordan plays twin brothers who have different personalities, and he did a really good job of capturing that. And they were on like this, they were on the screen together multiple times. And
Yeah.
he killed
able
that.
to play
It was
both
really
sides.
cool, and the music in it though, and this is where I think you would like this movie. Like the music and choreography in it was phenomenally done.
Nice.
It's hard to get too much else into the movie without spoiling it. I would suggest seeing it. I thought it was great.
All right. Do you think it's a movie that has to be seen in theaters to be
No,
most appreciated? Okay.
no, but at least it in a dark basement with like a nice TV and nice sound system.
All right. I can get down with that action.
In theaters
I'll
is not a
check.
necessity.
So Sinners, how long has that been out in theaters now?
3 weeks.
3 weeks in theaters. That's about the same kind of amount of time Minecraft has been in theaters. And that's been doing well. We were talking about Jack Black already before, and so he's still riding that movie buzz as the goofy guy. He's a little too goofy for me in the Minecraft movie. I think I mentioned that to you.
Well, Jack Black goes full Jack Black sometimes, and I think that's
Yeah.
where he
They probably asked him to do
talk
full
about
Jack
one
Black.
dimensional.
Wow.
He is the same guy in every movie.
Relatively. I mean, Shallow Hal, he's a little bit different than he is in other stuff.
A lot of
Yeah, like his facial expression and some of his mannerisms are for sure like Jack Black style. But that's a whole...
he's never going to have, like, people said that about Adam Sandler, but he'll never have an Uncut Gems. Right?
Right. You're probably right. You're probably right.
Now, Uncut Gems is a movie. Have you seen that?
I've seen most of it. I think I didn't finish it for some reason. Like, we got caught up doing something and I forgot to get back to it.
The whole point, like, that movie is a movie, like, I do not like the feeling that elicits, and that is anxiety. The whole fucking
Right.
movie.
Yeah. That's the one, he's like a diamond jeweler, dealer or something.
Yes, and
He's
also
yes.
a gambling addict who,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll have to. Maybe I'll watch that one because, like I said, I think I only caught the beginning of it. I never finished it. So,
We'll get a review next week on Uncut Gems.
all right, I like me some Sandman, so I'd be game for that. Now I've been distracted. I was trying to lead us down a certain direction, and I've got sidestepped. Beep bop boop ba da dee da da. Check the dossier. Oh, we were gonna. So I guess it's been a popular question among pop culture the last week or two. I don't know how long is how long. So I guess the question has come up recently on if you could take 100 guys and you pin them against a gorilla, what the outcome will be. As I guess a lot of people on the internet have weighed in on this.
It's taken over.
It's taken over.
When something makes it to my desk,
We
it's-
know.
because I'm not on the social medias.
Yeah. So once it makes it into real life, then we know. I mean, looks Forbes has an article from 9 hours ago. It says social media wants to know if 100 men can defeat a single gorilla.
Well, what is your take?
Well, I guess I got questions about the how's this going to play out? Like, are we on gorilla's territory? Are we bringing a gorilla into like a stadium and putting them in like unfamiliar territory?
Roman Coliseum.
So it's going to be on man's ground.
Well,
He said, well,
pretty open.
it is open, but it's not around trees and other things
No
that are
weapons.
natural. So no weapons.
Everybody is unarmed. Gorilla and humans.
Okay. And then no. So yeah, you can't grab anything around your environment.
Well, if you're in the Roman Coliseum, that can be easily controlled.
Rocks, dirt. Like if you pick up a thing of dirt,
I
you
don't
throw
think
it
that's
in
fair.
eyes.
No, what throwing DQ?
So guy number 99 gets disqualified because he was throwing dirt at the gorilla's eyes.
Gorilla wins.
Gorilla wins automatically by DQ.
Brant was showing me a lot of the memes and stuff that have came from this. Pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
It was like somebody just ripping Patrick Starr's head off, and it said everybody running away after gorilla does this to the first human, just ripping.
I
the top
mean, that's the real. Yeah, like once you see one or two guys just get bludgeoned by a gorilla and like ripped into, that's got to give you some pause. Like it doesn't matter how many guys you got. Like once you see one or two guys just start to get ripped.
Here would be the human strategy, because I've gone back and forth. And gorilla, I'm not going to speak too much on gorillas due to the nature of our Mount Rushmore today, but I do love gorillas, and so I'm not. But the humans have the advantage of the capability of maybe prepping, game planning, strategizing.
So let's just say, okay, it's 100 guys that have never met. They all just get thrown in there.
I'm saying 100 Brock Lesnar motherfuckers.
Okay, so fine. 100 of our beefiest beefcakes get put
skilled at wrestling,
and they all are skilled wrestlers.
That would
I
have
just
to be
don't
the
know.
move. I don't. I've gone back and forth. My gut said 100 humans, and I'm starting more. I was thinking about it last night, talking about it with Brant. I was starting to second guess, and then I still don't know but then I'll be like, well, what if they, how do you do it?
How do you do it?
You have to have some brave motherfuckers that are prepared to die. Right?
Somebody's going to have to be the one that dies.
Somebody.
And then others going to have to keep going while that motherfucker is being murdered.
Yes.
So that's going to be
But people
the hardest
will do
challenge.
this.
People will do this.
I don't know. People do it in war all the time. Somebody's going to be in the front line.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier when you have a gun or a weapon to murder from somebody from afar as opposed to approaching that person that's ripping your friend apart or whatever, your other fellow human apart, and then being the one to be like, oh, I'll stop this person. I'll go for the legs, guys. You grab the arms.
If they all are just charging this thing, you could at least get how many humans could hit the gorilla and make contact with it without, because eventually you can't have all 100 touching the gorilla at once.
No.
It'd be impossible. But what do you think, at least 15?
I don't know.
Can a gorilla just manhandle 15, like 4 strong Brock Lesnar's on each arm?
I think if all the guys were running at the gorilla at once and then they grabbed on, the gorilla would be able to bust out of that initial thing and then would boom, boom, boom. I don't think it would spend the time beating them all. It would keep evading, it would keep running away from them in the Coliseum.
And just go around fucking up.
Maybe, and that's where the
limbs get ripped off.
That's where the human condition comes into, is like, we have been some of the best hunters throughout all of history because of our endurance when it comes to fights. So if you got 100 humans in a gorilla in an enclosed area and that gorilla can't escape, it's going to keep trying to run. And then every time it gets swarmed on by 15, 20, 30 guys, whatever, it's going to have to use more energy to bust out from those 100 guys, from that swarm of guys. So it might be a battle of fatigue. Like, these 100 men might wear down the endurance of that gorilla before.
And that's just in a Roman Coliseum. That's pretty confined. You still think that'd be the outcome?
Yes. I think 100 guys are going to win based on fatigue.
All right.
Final say. Final say.
But how many humans die?
I think it could even be less than one. I think 1, 2 could die.
Imagine that luck.
I think there's going to be some maiming. There's going to be some serious injuries. That gorilla's going to bite. It's going to scratch. It's going to really get a hold of some people here or there.
Gorilla teeth are fucked.
But it's going to do that in an effort to escape, the swarm of the people coming onto it. It's going to bite or
gorilla's
maim them.
adrenaline would be rushing.
It's not going to
be scared.
It's not going to wait and keep attacking that one person. It's going to hurt them to get away from the mob, and then it's going to, try to evade until it gets swarmed again, and then it's going to bite, attack, and get away from that swarm of people. It's just instinct. If you see 100 of anything coming towards you, you're going to want to evade it and get away from it. It's not going to just stand its ground and be like, whoa, fight through it. Its instinct's going to be like, fight away, get away, don't just stand and murder.
See, this is where I wish we were like a live show and could have call-ins, because this is great fodder for that. I want to hear what people think.
Yeah. I just think, like I said, that it's going to be an endurance thing, and humans got that more endurance than most animals.
I've only talked to one other person about that. This was Brant. He says no way the humans win.
You got to get back closer to the mic, guy.
I said the only person I've talked to about this was Brant, and he said there's no way that the humans win. He's all gorilla.
All right. I mean, that's okay. I can understand maybe that side of it too. But I just don't, even if you put a gorilla in a corner and he has to fight humans one at a time as they come to him, by the time that gorilla's killed the 50th human, it's going to be absolutely wiped.
How do we not have the technology to do an accurate simulation
because we don't know how to, you can't simulate somebody's mind state, their mental reaction to a situation. You can't judge and guess that how an animal is going to react mentally, how humans will react mentally to if they see another human getting maimed or whatever, they might instantly give up. And if that's the case, if humans give up because they see other ones getting destroyed, then the gorilla wins. But I'm thinking just from a energy standpoint, the gorilla just doesn't have enough energy to kill 100 humans before those humans get that gorilla under control somehow. I think.
Well, very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
We're discussing what we would do for Mount Rushmore this week. This topic of conversation came up, and we were like,
look, the world's set ablaze by 100 guys versus gorillas, so we had to chime in.
yeah. And so I think for Mount Rushmore this week, it's going to be a very broad one.
Yeah.
And we're just going to do a Mount Rushmore of non-domesticated animals.
All right. So non-domesticated animals.
Yeah.
And this Mount Rushmore will be our favorite animals or the animals that we think are the best in the best of the
When you think
ecosystem
that-
or
no,
what?
just your favorite. Maybe your favorite is because they're best for the ecosystem.
Maybe
pick your
but
animal
maybe
and say why.
Your favorite animal could just be because it's cute, like.
Well, I'll give that. Yeah, so yes.
So that's
just
what I'm
favorite.
saying. As our Mount Rushmore should be just based on our favorite Mount,
Yes.
four animals, not like what we think should just be the top ranked overall animals. So
How do you
just
want to
our
do this?
I'm asking you. We're trying to have a conversation here. It's an A-B conversation. I'm
I think
asking.
just favorite, but my favorite is usually just off of how badass.
He
I
said,
think
my
animals."
favorite are apex predators.
Yeah, I mean,
They are automatically the top 4 animals in the world. I don't see the difference between
No,
my
I
favorite
wouldn't-
animals and the top 4 animals in the world. They're clearly the same.
no, that's not what I'm saying. Because there are some, like, there's animals I find very badass that are not apex predators, but
And then would you pick, that's why I said we need to distinguish between, are we doing Mount Rushmores of like what we think are the best 4 animals in the world, bar none. These are the best because of these reasons.
Yes.
Or are we doing our favorite 4 animals because of whatever?
well, we could either do a series for cutest animals, for
Oh,
most
gosh.
badass, but I think we just go animals.
Okay, and we're going to say these are the best animals because of X, Y, and Z, not our favorite animals because of X, Y, and Z.
No, these are my favorite animals because of X, Y, and
Oh
Z.
my gosh. So we're doing favorite animals.
Yes.
And we're not trying to make an argument why this is the best animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Favorite animals, Mount Rushmore. We're going to hear it here.
I think we're just getting this whole thing confused. My favorite animals are because I think they are the best.
Well, see, that's different. My favorite animals are my favorite animals, not because I think that they're the
Do you
best.
think others are better?
Yeah, sure. Like, oh gosh.
They say my favorite baseball player is Mason Winn. I don't think he's the best shortstop in the league, but he's my favorite. That's kind of yeah.
Right. And that's kind of how I'm saying, like, the lemur monkey might be one of my favorite animals,
But you
but the
think he's the
lemur
best.
monkey isn't one of the best animals in the world.
But he is to you. Or
Just
her. She.
They.
All these animals today are women.
Recognize all the great women animals out there.
Yeah. I wanted to do an apology real quick. Last week.
Apology.
Yeah, well,
Come on.
I am.
Whatever. Issue apologies for the way you view the world.
Well, one of our most loyal listeners did take some exception with not having one single woman taken out of 8. We also got feedback from my mom, who was upset that we didn't take Mother Teresa, which could have been a woman.
Look, if you think that Mother Teresa was one of the most, top 8 influential figures in the last 100 years, that's for your Mount Rushmore. That's great. And
get a lot of-
our Mount Rushmores, she did not make the cut. I don't know what to tell you.
Brand said he didn't even know who the fuck Oppenheimer was.
Everybody's got different things.
People-
Oppenheimer changed the world. We wouldn't be where we are as people if there wasn't a nuclear bomb.
I was just saying that we do listen to feedback. Sorry, we didn't take a
These
woman. It was
issuers
nothing.
apologizing.
It was like, it was not, I wasn't only
It wasn't
looking
the
to take,
plan.
no.
Look, you
meant-
got
we-
the next 100 years, women, show us something great.
Oh my, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying if they want to be on the one for 100 years from now, this is your chance. Be great. Be great.
We didn't even mention Amelia Earhart.
She's lost the time. She might even still be out there. We don't know.
But
Living on an
so
island.
just real quick, honorable mentions. Madame Curie was mentioned.
Yep. And I mentioned her before we even talked because you wouldn't have Oppenheimer if you never had Madame Curie.
Rosa Parks.
Yep. There's debates about Rosa Parks, but she's a
Whoa.
great historical figure.
Whoa. What's the debate?
That she was told to go and do that on the bus, and not that it was just a willful action. That she was told to go make a protest on the bus, not that she just did it after a long day
Breaking
of work,
news?
as it's been.
Moo.
This isn't breaking. This has kind of been the story for a while. It doesn't lessen her impact to history, though, is all I'm saying. It doesn't lessen her impact. She did, she did her thing and was able to be a rallying cry for a lot of people for a great cause. I mean, there was obviously need for change in society at the time, and there still is great need for change in society. So, staged, not staged, planned, and not planned, whatever. It still was a rallying cry behind a good cause. So that's no worries. So should we get into these animal Mount Rushmores? I need to flip this coin. Xavier, you're going to call it in the air. I got the same office token that I had last time. So one side is blank, one side says the office. And I'm going to flip it. You will call it in the air. Oh, gosh. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
The office.
Lands on blank side. So I will decide to defer. I'm going to defer this week. Usually when it lands on me, I like to go ahead and go with the pick, but we're going to give, I'm going to let you go with the first pick.
We will let the conversation continue because the best animal, my favorite animal, it's the animal that's got the whole internet blazing right now.
The A1 pick.
It is the gorilla.
Yep.
I've always been a gorilla boy.
Gorilla boy.
Love them.
Yeah.
They're badass. They're smart. They could rip your arm off and fucking beat your ass with it. The arm itself.
The arm itself. Not even their own arm. They'll save their
There's
own.
something about like them showing their teeth that really gets me fired up.
Mm-hmm. Or like this their show of strength when they run up on a motherfucker and beat their ass.
What I like people who talk shit and can back it up. And that is
the gorilla.
That's the gorilla.
True. Acts big and tough, but then when it's put to the test, will absolutely put them down.
It's not an intimidation tactic. It's ramping itself up, saying, "Come and fucking get some."
The gorilla's about faking it till it makes it, dude.
I'm glad I had the 1-1 because I don't know that you would have taken it, but I needed to solidify the gorilla. When I eventually get a tattoo, I want a gorilla showing its teeth. I love the gorilla.
Wait, you said your gorilla tattoo is an if and when thing?
Yeah, it's like what I want a gorilla showing his teeth tattooed on me. It's fucking.
Will
badass.
that be your first tattoo?
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah." All right. A gorilla's badass. I got no qualms against gorilla for the first A1 pick. But it makes now I can think about maybe my picks a little more because there was maybe certain animals, that I was thinking about. So I got 2. I think my first pick in the Mount Rushmore draft of favorite animals will be King of the Jungle, lions, the big cats. Now, this is category. It's a little harder to to break it down. What's my favorite big cat? Is it a lion? I think it is. Just, you got the Lion King, lion has got its whole pride.
Any other cats, though, because we don't spoil pets.
Not going to mention any other cats. Just going to talk about the lions. They got their prize. They take care of their group of peoples, and they're very feared. They got the stealth behind them. Big cats, lion.
That's your favorite animal?
Majestic. It's up there. I think gorillas are definitely up there too. From some of my favorites.
You might have gone 1-1 gorilla.
I might have. See, that's the thing. It's a little slippery slope right now of how deep to get into the conversation without giving it away any further picks. So I got my second pick now. All right. I'll just go with the chimpanzee. Same family, the primates, but I think the chimps are pretty badass. Once again, very human-like. You watch them interact with each other and with other humans even. Their mannerisms are oddly striking and very familiar. Cute even. You look at them in the eye, you can feel the soul of that animal just like you can if you look into another human's eyes. So, yeah, chimps and chimpanzees are definitely on my list of not even just favorite animals for me, but they got to be on a top list overall too.
Yeah, I do love chimps. It was going to be off my board. You could probably save that for later because I wasn't going to go double primate.
Yeah, I figured so much. But
after going back-to-back Dorito last week, you never know, or 2 weeks ago. So
once you get back-to-back Dorito, it keeps you on your toes forever, man.
Yeah, But No qualms with either one of those. The interesting thing about the lion, though, and not to be ironic here, but are you taking a male lion or
the animal as a whole? The animal as a whole.
Because,
Lionesses are pretty badass too.
Lionesses are the hunters of the pride.
That's what I'm saying. They are some of the more impressive females of a species of all the animals. You know, just for what they do and how badass they are, for sure.
Now, since we've clarified this is favorite animal, not best, that kind of changes. Like, if I was going best, oh man.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a distinction. That's why
There
I was
is.
like, we needed to hammer this out.
My favorite is different from my number 2 pick. And do I take my number 2 pick even though I think I can get it 4?
Ooh, nobody knows for sure.
Or am I being disingenuous? I have back-to-back picks, so I will take. It is my second favorite animal, and that is the Black Panther.
Ooh, that's a good one. The panther.
I think there is nothing more, no animal more sleek looking than that all black. It's jet black.
Yes, and it's got like a silky coat where it's shiny.
I mean, they are so fucking cool to me. I think there's a lot of big cats that I could.
Big cats?
I've always just been so drawn to the Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. Black Panther's a good one.
For a while, it did hold the one spot. As I got older, I just really was infatuated with gorillas. But the Black Panther has always been near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, and you know, my favorite big cat can change depending on the month. Like, there's jaguars are fucking awesome, cheetahs are awesome. I know you said don't name all these other big cats, but since you've taken your big cat now, I feel like
and I
you're
don't
probably
think
not
I'll
gonna
take
go back
another
to that
one.
well,
I almost
big
have
cat.
to go back to back big cat though,
honorable big cat
because there is
mentions.
still just a juggernaut out here.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
yeah. The cheetah. Jay's a big fan of the snow leopards.
And you still haven't mentioned the 101, the one that's gonna go toe to toe with the lion for that jungle, dude. And I'm probably not gonna take it.
You did Bengal cat, the tiger.
I mean,
Pretty
but
badass.
so I did. So I've been to the Big Cat Sanctuary in Indiana, where I learned that like panther's like not actual an animal like that is a panther. Panther is just like it's derived from Latin pantheria, which means big cat in Latin.
Yeah.
So like. I don't know, like the Black Panther, I think, is a type of jaguar.
Yeah, I think so.
It's basically a black jaguar, all black.
Yeah.
Like the panther name itself is just Latin for big cat.
And you can, I think some of them, you can even see the same like jaguar spotting underneath their black coats.
Yeah, so.
So big cat mentions. So you have your next pick, I believe now. Your third.
It's going to have to be, I mean, I'm going back to back big cat.
Back to back big cat.
I got to go Bengal striped tiger.
Bengal tiger. It's a badass animal.
I didn't want to go. I had it all mapped out in my head, but it's like I couldn't. I do love a tiger. I think they are so fucking cool looking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that they are the king of the jungle.
Yeah. Different. Yeah. Usually, they're in different parts of the world, lions and tigers, but basically have the same kind of roles in their ecosystems. Being a
And we're
top
doing
predator.
favorite animals, so I couldn't just not pick the tiger because I've already taken a big cat. It is
Yeah.
awesome. I do love like just a big classic.
The tiger stripes, man. There's something so good about it. So clean. It's a clean looking animal.
I do love a tiger, so that's my third pick. For all the reasons are obvious there.
Yep. Solid. So you have gorilla, panther, and tiger, Bengal tiger. I'm sitting on chimpanzees, and I'm sitting on lions. So for my next pick, I'm gonna go elephants.
Oh! Yeah, that is why I should have taken it. I could have got tiger fourth. Oh, damn it. That's what my struggle was.
Woo!
They are badass.
Elephants. I mean, they speak for themselves. They're some of the more intelligent animals that there are.
Yeah. Fuck.
And they show quite the range of emotions that we can identify as humans. I mean, they're just exceptional animals. I saw an I saw an elephant completely just uproot a whole tree to block a pathway. It's like these things, on top of being incredibly intelligent and emotionally smart and caring, they're so big and strong. I mean, there's no other animal on our planet that can do what an elephant can do. And they don't have to be aggressive or have, these teeth of sharks or tigers or gorillas even. They don't have that same aggressiveness because they don't need to. They have their size, the straight up size to just do whatever they want. And the emotional intelligence to not give a fuck.
we never talk about our favorite animals with each other, so I didn't know. I was thinking what's more likely to fall back for, the tiger or the elephant. I don't know if you were going to go back to back big cat. I love the elephant. The reflection was more of a draft strategy, not where I
not your feelings.
I love the elephant.
Sounds like you're issuing an apology to Elephant Nation.
I wanted the elephant bad. I think all the reasons you just said is why. They're like everything about it.
Yep. So I'm feeling pretty strong about my list so far. And then since I get the back-to-back pick here, and my last choice will be the king cobra.
King cobra. Okay, that's a little off the reservation.
Yeah, not an animal that people think of being cute.
Reptile.
But it is extremely recognizable, has shown up in many different instances throughout history. You look at Egyptian hieroglyph. It's like, what was the word we couldn't say last week?
I don't know.
Hieroglyphics. Jesus. Anyway, you see back on all Egyptian wall drawings and shit, motherfucking king cobras. You can tell because they got the nice hoods. And they were treated almost in a royal kind of sense. So there's a lot of history with that specific reptile, and I just think that they should have a place, on this Mount Rushmore of animals for me. So I don't know if I got any more to add on that. I mean, snake charmers be using those cobras, and they come boo 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 up the little thing, doing their thing. Cobras, king cobra specifically.
Yeah, my last pick, and I do like my favorite snake is black mamba, but I only got so infatuated with the black mamba because of Kobe's nickname. But then after learning about them, they're the most venomous snake in the world. That's not my pick. I don't think
people that live around black mamas like black mamas very much.
But I mean, they are one badass, and I like them. And speaking of badass, pound for pound, my money might be the most badass animal there is, and that is the honey badger.
Oh, honey badger don't care.
Honey badger don't care, dude. I think I could watch.
I heard you say cobra. I'm gonna get the nemesis,
and that wasn't even my thought. Honey badger was, it was in my top. It was in my top 5.
It was in your prospect pool.
It was in my prospect pool. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on the honey badger. They are ferocious. They are brave as fuck, is what I love about them. They'll just go fuck shit up, dude. Like
they don't give a shit about the size of the dog in the fight. Dude, they give a shit about the size of the dog in you.
They are some dogs.
They got the dog in them.
Yes, dude. Do you like the honey badger?
The honey badger's fine. It wouldn't have made my list, obviously.
It's cool, dude. They're just so fucking cool, man.
I'd honorable mention it. I'd give
they'll go right up into they'll go right into some honeycomb getting stung by a bee. They don't care.
No, they're all about what they want.
I know it's been kind of made into a meme, but it's because
honey badger don't care.
No, they'll fuck a snake up. They'll take your little king cobra, tie it in a knot, and fucking.
And maybe honey badger, if it cared a little bit, would be further up on my list. Like
you want them to care more.
I want them to care more. They just don't care about anything. They're very selfish animals.
Yeah, but I think pound for pound though, they just pack a punch.
Yeah. I mean, we want to talk pound for pound. I'm sure there's some really venomous frog or something that could just wipe you out in a second.
But now you're just making this too literal.
Semantics.
But honey badgers are pretty badass, and they're cool looking. They're cute.
They're cute. True.
They are cute.
For Mount Rushmore of cute animals that might kill you, honey badger tops, big time. What other cute animals might kill you? Bears. Like straight. Oh God, man! I really sucks that I
We didn't go bear.
No bears on these lists. This is a dropping of the ball. Like I picked king cobra
Polar
before
bear
any
would.
bear.
Man.
Gosh, bears are apex, dude. But that cobra, I mean, it's just some. Maybe it's because bears weren't historically known as much as
I do love a polar bear.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to go a little different with the honey badger because I think
grizzly bears. I mean, these are some badass animals.
Really, yeah.
Drop
the ball.
And they're cute. And they cute. I mean, look at a fucking panda bear. I mean, golly.
No
you watch
other
a panda bear.
well,
flip
panda
around?
bear.
They're aloof. They're stupid little animals, but they're cute.
I would have taken a polar bear.
Over who? A honey badger?
Probably.
Are we going to amend your list?
No.
An official amendment?
No, because I keep doing that. I feel like no more amendments.
Why? We're talking through it. Nothing's official. Just because you made your pick, it's not like you can't trade out of your pick.
Polar bear over honey badger.
All right.
You want grizzly bear over king cobra?
No, I'm sticking with it only because of the historical significance of
Polar
snakes
bear
and king cobras.
Polar bears are maybe the most vicious. Like they will hunt.
Polar bears don't care.
They will track a human down and kill him.
Yeah, that's a battle of endurance between a polar bear and a human trapped out in the Arctic for sure.
Polar bear more dangerous than grizzly bear.
Yeah, they're gonna come straight up and hunt you down more than I think a grizzly bear would. Polar bear is gonna come after you. Grizzly bear will attack you if you're nearby, but other than that, they'll leave you alone. They're not gonna just come after you thinking you're the next meal or whatever. But a polar bear absolutely will say, "Dang, look at this next meal. I'm 100% on board."
I do still love the honey badger, but polar bears, like we just omitted bears, like we didn't.
I know, and I remember even thinking about bears a little bit whenever we were first talking about the subject. But I guess in my list it didn't come up as one of my top 100% honorable mention right outside the top 4. It's got to be the bear.
And I'm gonna say an honorable
And look,
mention.
the bear also takes half a year off. Like they go and they hibernate. So
cutest animals too. Do we want to do that draft one day, or do we want to put cute animals an honorable mention?
well, I was just talking to the cute animals that were also deadly. The cutest animals that would kill you, and that's what got me to bears.
Cute animals though. Like if I'm going straight for cuteness, that penguin, man, I love the penguin, dude.
You think penguins are cute?
They're so cute. Like they're little.
Really?
I really
their
love.
waddles, I guess, are kind of cute.
I love they're majestic looking.
Yeah,
I love.
They got a
penguin.
good color scheme. You know,
Yes.
that black on white on yellow on orange. Like that's a good color.
Dude, they're beautiful animals.
Yeah, they're fine. Birds are kind of beautiful. They're also a little freaky. Birds
You
in
don't
general.
like you don't like penguins.
Nah, they're fine. I'm indifferent. They're cute. They do a little waddling.
You just want to hug a penguin.
Nah.
Dude, when you go to the zoo and they say don't touch the penguin, all I want to do is touch the fucking penguin.
Don't touch the penguin.
I will touch the penguin every time.
Damn. That penguin didn't ask for that, dude. You violated that penguin.
Okay, do you think a penguin would walk up to me and they'd probably touch me? I wouldn't be
Slap the
offended.
shit out of you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
Don't be so cute.
Don't be so cute.
Maybe I am violating, but it's not.
I think the otters might be a little bit more
otters
cute
are
than
very
the,
cute.
than the
Good
penguins.
call for the cute category. I'm not saying penguins were the cutest. I was just spitballing some cute animals. Otters are
Fucking cute. They lay on their back. They sit there and eat shells off their belly and stuff, dude. Like, meh, 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 meh. Yeah, otters are cool.
some in the
Badass.
monkey.
There's a lot of cute monkeys for
a lot
sure.
of cute monkeys.
The capuchin, the little guys, the lemur. Lemur's got the sweet stripes.
But the cutest, most deadliest mammals could be the human woman.
The deadliest of the cute ones. Yeah, I mean they're so good looking we can't even stay away from them, but they'll put you in the ground.
That's not a bad pick.
Not a bad.
We're going
pick.
for cutest, deadliest.
Cutest, deadliest. Yep.
The female.
No
Homo
spider
sapien.
mentions, no insect mentions. I just don't think that they should be. I
Are
mean,
they animals or insects?
that's part of the animal kingdom, sure.
No mammals.
Okay, well now we know, but when we're talking animal kingdom,
Well, I guess
insects are part of it.
reptiles not.
They're animal kingdom too, not a mammal.
Yeah.
Well, some of us animals. I don't know.
No, that's what I was saying. That's why I was omitting that.
Dolphins are pretty badass. We kind of did all land animals. No sea critters, no alligators. These are all honorable mentions. Dolphins are cool, like I said, because they're, they show also the intelligence, and they're little playful dolphins. They just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun, and dolphins just want to have fun, man. Cyndi Lauper going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The list was just announced.
From dolphins to Cyndi Lauper.
Well, I said, dolphins want to have fun, girls want to have fun.
Phone rings in the middle of the night.
Any other animal honorable mentions before we wrap up the Mount
I
Rushmore?
mean, there is so many. We're going to get texts. How could you leave off the giraffe? How could you leave off the zebra? How could you leave off the hippopotamus? All this. How could you leave off the grizzly
rhino.
bear? The rhino. I mean, animals.
Well, yeah, everybody's got their own.
We need more people for these segments because we're just by nature going to leave off. Like, there's more than 8 badass animals out there. I love
this
animals.
is our list. That's the whole thing. It's not. Well, that was the whole point. We weren't trying to make Mount Rushmores for anybody else. These are our Mount Rushmores.
I do feel bad for kicking off the honey badger because I do love the honey badger. It doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, but come on. You needed to have.
We had to have polar bear on there.
Yeah. Like, we did it. We did.
And they drank Coca-Cola.
We did a disservice to the bears.
How cool. Coca-Cola
They
drinking.
slide down the hill. They go sledding in the winter.
You just go hug a polar bear.
I recommend it.
Would you watch
A human trying to hug a polar bear? Is that what you're about to ask me?
like how long would you just
Get
just
out of there.
morbid curiosity, some stupid like natural selection, right?
Yeah, there's something to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably just watch. I'd watch. Say, I'm curious to see how it goes. Maybe the bear will just lick him for a little bit.
No.
Oh, there it goes. He just clawed him across the face. It's game over. Jesus Christ. Oh, he was just getting a taste. Oh, he's got him by the neck. Oh, my God. No, dude. Wouldn't be. It'd probably get taken down. Don't leave it up.
I don't think it's caught on footage. A polar bear killing a human.
Not yet. Not yet.
We should do simulations.
We should do simulation. I mean, look, people need answers for the 100 guys versus a gorilla, so somebody's going to have to figure out how to quantify all that and put it in an algorithm.
Well, that's our list, and this usually wraps.
About close to the time that we put an end to the show. We got Game 5 Blues Jets looking forward to tonight. What else are you looking forward to coming up this week?
I'm going to be in a gauntlet. Like, I got a double Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday Cinco de Mayo. So just.
Oh, yeah. Busy time for the Tex-Mex restaurants.
About 40 hours in 3 days. Yeah.
All the hours.
Not a lot to look forward to. Nothing really to report. Tales from the Service Table has been kind of mild. Nothing to report.
Yeah.
But it's not it's not a segment that's gone forever. Just it's going to be when we have a tale from the Service Table.
Sure. I was just curious if you got any things this week you were looking forward to.
I'm trying to think. I don't want to offend anybody that's like, well, why isn't he looking forward to this? My mom's birthday is this week.
Well, shouts out. Happy birthday early. Good to hear. Everybody likes birthdays.
Big 5'5".
55. I can drive 55. Sammy Hagar. Big name in town here. St. Louis fans love him. He just put out a new song.
Don't care.
Nick, not into the Sammy Hagar.
Come on, man.
Breaking news. Heard it here first.
It won't break 1 million on Spotify.
Not very possible, but he also sold 50 million records. So do with that what you will. For me, I guess I got we're going to the cabin this weekend. One of the few weekends, no gigs on the books, so we're gonna head out to the country estate and check it out and see how it goes. Maybe get in the river, see how the weather is. Got a lot of plant stuff to do. We got a new tree. Got to put the tree in the ground. Got a couple other new plants, perennial stuff.
I don't know if you'll ever get into the river this weekend. It's going to be in the mid-60s.
Oh, well, that's all right. Country time nonetheless.
It should be fun.
Yeah. Get out of town. Get out of Dodge for a couple of days. And then we'll be back at it. Big weekend St. Louis sports. We will see how it goes. Anything else to add, Xavier?